This video is about hand cues, but it's also about not hitting barrels leaving, as well as timing and feel in a pattern. So whether you're walk, trotting, or loping, you're looking for a certain feel on your horse. So always walk it perfect, smooth, with correct cues and correct position from your horse first, and then post trot sit jog it a few times. Don't go to a lope until you've mastered the way you want it to feel. So again, this particular pattern, I'm going to go back, start through it again. I was post trotting to it. A lot of people get frustrated about the arc. Don't make it overcomplicated. In a smaller pattern like this, lining up with third and then coming in, these are my arc cones. This particular one is about 12 feet away, 10 to 12 feet. That one's probably only about 10 feet. If I had a bigger horse, I was trying to give him more, and a smaller horse, I was trying to give him less for a lefty. So, but you always start going up the middle like you're going to third, and then just make a gradual approach. Your front and back feet should be square, and then you'll go into where the straighter, longer cone is on the fence is 4 feet to the side, and of course you're looking 10 feet past. So again, don't make it overcomplicated. Go towards third, then your arc, and then your pocket, your spot 1 to 2. The key, though, when you get to the barrel, is that they are square, front and back feet, and you are still riding straighter or longer. So notice I don't ask him to turn. Even though his front and back feet are square, my legs and my hands are still staying straight till my legs pass the barrel. Then I use a little inside pinky and leg. He gives me a little lateral bend, but I'm still with my eyes and my body riding to the backside, spot 2. Now I'm looking at spot 3. All right, this is important, the exit, that I keep riding to that point. Once my leg clears spot 2, I sit on my inside hip, I bend my elbow, and I look for my next spot for second barrel. And he finishes really tight. I don't even need my outside leg. Then I go back to 2 hands. I've taught him to move over as soon as he leaves first. You teach that when you're walking, trotting, loping, and then they'll always do it running. And then here I post trotted across, and then I sit jog before I get there, but I'm still looking and riding to that straighter, longer cone on the fence. And everything about me says go straight. His front and back feet are square. I'm 4 feet to the side of the barrel. My legs and my hands are saying get in the hole. I didn't even go to the horn on this one until I get in the hole. And then I'm looking at spot 2, hands forward, driving with my feet. You won't hit a barrel if you keep looking at spot 3, which is right here. Looking at spot 3, the exit, keeping the same size pocket, drive with your inside leg. Your inside leg, if they get too steady and they're not keeping forward motion, you can use your leg by the front cinch or for shoulder rib, or the back cinch if you want to keep that back end moving. And then I keep driving with both feet, and notice I'm still looking at spot 3. Then when I know I've got his front feet to spot 3, I look up for my next barrel. Inside hand comes back an inch, bend my elbow, comes back towards the saddle horn, inside hip, and he snaps out nice and tight. So then I can just post trot to the third barrel, and my line's very straight. I didn't overfinish. He didn't overbend his head. That's because he's used to me going 2 hand, 1 hand. And I also went back to 2 hands. As soon as I knew we had the snap, I go back to 2 hands and go for the drive cue. So we post trot across. And remember, front and back feet are square. I'm riding again to the straighter, longer cone, past this barrel. Now these one I have about 5 feet from the barrel and about 10 feet past. So that's just to remind me to look past the barrel. So, but still he was front and back feet square when my leg gets to the barrel. He wasn't dropping his front end in. When my leg's at the barrel, front and back feet are square. 5 foot pocket on this one. The other 2 are only 4 feet. I bend my elbow a little bit, inside leg, to let him know he can start coming out tighter. And then inside hip, and he snaps out tight with my elbow bent. And then I post trot out. Now in this case, I went ahead and stopped him here because I wanted to go back and show you how to keep a horse that hits barrels moving around a barrel. So I'm just going to use second, because second's usually the barrel that you're going to hit if you're going to hit, because it's a full turn. So I get him into a trot. Now remember, Rocky's lazy. So I stay 2 hands for this drill, and my hands should be even. I don't know why my outside hand's a little higher there, but I think it's because Rocky's so short. I got to keep my hands horn high and keep them even, though. Your inside hand should always be even with your outside hand. And then I made him go around 2 times. Okay, 2 times around. keeping his front and back feet to the spot 1, the entrance, front and back feet to spot 2, the backside. But see, even with my balance rein, ask him to go forward, I can still keep his nose to the inside. So I never pulled his nose to the outside, even when my hand was kicked higher. I'm in split reins too, by the way. So I do try to shorten them up to a barrel length, meaning they don't go behind the saddle horn when I'm working the barrel pattern. And then because I know I've got it on this one, I go to the horn, but see front and back feet, spot 2, front and back feet, spot 3. And then he knew to leave straight because I let him have my hand came back and I went to more inside hip right here. So he knew that I wanted him to finish tight because I used more inside hip and my hand came back. And that's how he knew to finish. And then I went back to 2 hands and then went back to normal. So then I stopped and pet him because I was happy with that. But that's the thing. If you have a horse that wants to hit a barrel, go around it 2 times, front and back feet, each quarter turn. And then when you're happy with that, finish with that inside hip, outside leg again. So that's what I really want to take from this for you guys. You really just want to get these horses where they're listening to you. Just feel like your horses are listening to your body. And I was pretty pleased with that. So again, when you're working the barrel pattern, don't make it harder than it is. Line up with third, a gradual approach to your arc, front and back feet square, then come into spot 1. Timing and feel is going to change. On a free runner, you might do a 2-hand bump or a 1-hand bump. On a young horse, you might have to shape to start your turn, give it back, and then bump to finish your turn. But it should always be give and take pressure. And second barrel is the hardest to keep them moving all the way around it. So you may have to bump, but then drive all the way and then bump again to finish. Again, it depends on the individual horse and where they are in their training. So if it's a free runner, a push horse, a young horse versus an open horse, all those things can vary on your timing. But that's why we spend time walking and trotting the pattern and getting a feel for what our training is. And that goes with August mindset. For training is the time to feel what our cues mean to our horse. And then competition is the time to just trust what we've been doing, that they'll work. So right now I'm thinking about my spots, my cues. Is he listening to me? How does that feel? And I was really pleased with that. Rocky and I never do the barrels. We've been mostly just riding on the road lately because it's been so hot this summer. But, it's the first time we've gone around the barrels in probably a month or so. And he was listening nice to me, working off my hips, off my legs. If anything, he just wants to turn a little early from spot 2 to 3 on second barrel. And that's why I went back on that barrel and made him give me 2 circles, because first and third, he was honest, but second, he wanted to short me right here from spot 2 to 3. So by going around the barrel 2 times, I remind him, you've got to get your feet to spot 3 before you can snap out. And that's what I'm telling him here. I'm like driving with my feet. I'm like front and back feet, spot 1, spot 2, front feet all the way to spot 3. Then you can leave tight. And that's the area that he'll get me short, is right in this area. So I gave him more room in this area. So I hope that helps. And thank you guys.